So, hello and welcome to the Books Crypto Club catch up on Zoom. It's Sunday, the 1st of August 2021, and we're going to be talking about whatever the world of crypto is happening right now. We have a mixture of people who come and join us, so I hope you'll really enjoy today's session. Do remember to click on that subscribe button, click the like, make comments, or even come along to future events. Do come and join us. New people are always welcome, irrespective of whether you're a novice or an expert. So let's see who's going to join us today. Hey, there's Steve. Steve joined us as well.
Hi. You okay?
Yeah.
Hi, Sam.
I think we're surviving at the moment. Is probably as good as it gets. It's like we're all casualties of war kind of thing. So. Yeah, so see who else joins us tonight, if anybody. But yeah, Sam, you don't look too bad anyway. That's something. Yeah, at least you're not in. Well, I don't think you're in your pajamas.
They're not pajamas, no. They look a bit like Jim Jammies, but no, they're not. I mean, well, you know, with this, what was it? We had 10 green candles on Bitcoin and Ethereum, so
yeah,
it should be a pretty happy bunny, you know. And I would imagine there'll be more people tonight, because of the positive crypto news. People prefer to talk about crypto when things are going well, right?
You're right. It's amazing how much people want to talk about it when it's going up, and how many people think that they're experts when it's going up. And and I'm sure there's a connection in some way. And everyone's an expert when the tide's rising, kind of thing. Definitely there. So it's been an interesting one. I nearly made a comment on someone the other day though when they said, "Oh, we've got like 8 green candles straight through," because it's kind of in the crypto world. This is a bizarre thing that the charts do show that, but the charts are fake, because it's actually, you know, you're only actually looking at, say, Binance's numbers or Bitrex's numbers, or maybe an aggregation of a few of them. It's not actually true prices and true activity that's going on. It's kind of representation. And you get this whole thing where people are saying, oh yeah, well, it's gone up for, you know, for the last 24-hour blocks, blah, 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 it's gone up. Well, crypto is 24-hour. It's not like shares where you've got like open, high, low, close prices. So, but I get where people are talking about it when they're going with this, so I'll leave them to it.
I thought that it was done according to the American time markets. I thought that's how the candles are worked out. They just use the opening and closing of American Stock Exchange, and I don't know which one.
I'm not convinced that they synchronize it. You know, I think, and I'm happy to, if anyone actually knows for sure on this, but I think they just pull in some sort of aggregations from each of the exchanges. Because I've had it before now. I remember speaking to someone, and they were one of these firms who were doing a crypto bot type thing of a tracker, and they were using that to track the prices across multiple exchanges and all this kind of thing. And it was really funny because I said to them, "Oh, so this is tracking across all the exchanges, is it?" They said, "Oh yeah, all of them." Oh, all that's interesting, because that's quite a lot. And I said, well, we meant Binance and Kraken and Bittrex, I think it was. It's like, oh, so you mean 3 of them? It's not all of them. So you can never really tell. I think a lot of it's still smoke and mirrors. So how are the charts going for you then, Steve? Anyway, you still making the percents?
Yeah, I've made a fair bit this week, obviously, with it going up. So I've taken my profits.
Because Sam missed the excitement last week that so Steve was getting so excited because even during our conversation, I think he realized he'd missed a blip or whatever of an exit point, and he's getting all excited. He's like, oh great, I missed this exit point, right? I don't know, where did it actually end up? Did it just carry on rising, or did you close it out?
I closed them out, didn't I? But I got a larger percentage profit than I was planning because I'd missed them. Was it like one was 7% and one was 5% or 4%?
Yeah.
Profit. So it averaged like 6% profit, I think, didn't it? Because I'd missed it.
It's always good when it works that way around, though, isn't it? Yeah, it's when you miss it and it's like, oh, I missed it, and it's plummeted or dropped away or whatever.
I hadn't been watching it because obviously it was dropping for like last good few weeks, so I just stopped keeping an eye on what positions I had. Obviously I was watching it, like, but
because Sam, did you say Ethereum's been going up this week as well, in line with Bitcoin? Yeah,
I took a profit this morning about 8 o'clock.
Oh, really? Okay.
Eyes half asleep, leaned out of bed, saw the figure, thought, oh, sell. Took a big chunk.
It went up to $2,600, but it's recently both Bitcoin and Ethereum have just fallen a little bit to more accumulation levels. What's interesting is it's just Bitcoin's obviously hovering around this 42k level, and it looks like it's going to break through pretty soon. Ethereum,
it's dropping right now at the moment. Bitcoin,
yeah, both are dropping. Both are dropping. But, there's supposed to be some big moves on Ethereum this week, aren't there?
What a big move, did you say?
Yeah, there's some expected big moves on both. I mean, there's just not that much time, according to Joe. I've had so many different. I've been watching my different guys that I like, and then wildly different predictions, and so it leaves me in a bit of a muddle because I'm a bit of a charts and stats guy. I remember I came in and I said, "Oh, October 27th or something."
Okay.
I was like that on previous bull runs. I went, "That'll be the end of the bull run." And then was it Fernando? He was like, no, it's going to be more closely aligned to financial markets. But I was just watching BitBoy, who's obviously the biggest hype man on it. He's talking about this Black Swan event happening in the fall. That is our autumn.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's saying, oh no, like you want to get your coins out, like it's either going to be September, October, November. You're going to see it hit like he's talking about deflation. Deflation is like the new worry and he's like, you might have to take, and he's the biggest kind of Bitcoin crypto maximalist there is, and he's like, you might have to take your money out of crypto for a while and keep it in cash if there's deflation. What else can you recommend?
But if there's deflation, cash is a bad place to keep it.
Is it? Like I thought, look, so this is what I thought of it. If you've got inflation, that's when it's bad to keep your money in cash, okay? Because then your cash is worth less. If there's deflation, isn't your cash worth more? And aren't assets worth less? Like housing prices will go down. Like, and so wouldn't cryptocurrency value go down in the deflationary market?
So there's no proven correlation, I don't think, between crypto and the real world. Whereas with things like commodities like gold, silver, precious metals, oil, that kind of thing, there's a correlation between what the market's doing and that kind of thing. There isn't quite that thing with crypto. So it comes down to if you hold in crypto, if you're holding it in Bitcoin and Ethereum, then what's going on in the rest of the world, who really knows, whether it's inflation, deflation, whatever. And in actual fact, from what I'm seeing from what economists are talking about around the world, what we're actually about to hit is neither inflation nor deflation, but a far, far worse thing called stagflation. Yeah. And stagflation is where you've got increasing prices with decreasing demand, which is quite bizarre, and decreasing ability to buy things. So what you end up with is stocks end up on the side of dockyards and that, because no one wants to buy them. And the goods going up in price, but no one can afford them anyway. And everyone's losing their jobs and all this kind of thing. So, I've been hearing about the whole grand reset and all sorts of things for a few years. And the big concern isn't about deflation, because deflation just means, like you say, things come down in price. The far worse thing is things go up in price, but not because of demand. And the whole market kind of goes a bit AWOL. What impact that has on crypto, I don't know, because they keep talking about you tend to have safe harbor type things. So whether it's property, physical goods, precious metals, stock shares, there's all sorts of different asset classes. I don't think anyone's yet figured out what crypto is, as to whether it's an alternative asset class that behaves differently or not. So time will tell. Hey, Fazal, so you joined us. Has he actually made it through this week? Fazal's had a few technical problems over the last couple of weeks.
Sorry, yes. Sorry.
Yay!
How are you, Gary?
Hey, we're all living the dream. We're all surviving at the moment. We're all looking at. We're all showing various stages of ill health, I think, which is which I actually think is too much. Spending too late at night watching the screens going up and down, and putting the bids in and that. So how's things with you? You okay?
Yeah, good. I took a bit of a break from it in the last couple of weeks. So just purely because I was just looking at things every day. It just got a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took a bit of break, and then I think in the last 2 weeks I've just been picking things back up again, and I see things are kind of slowly going up, and things are slowly on the move up, I think it looks like.
Yeah. Well, I think between Steve and Sam, they can probably give you the big picture of what's going on and everything, because I'm convinced that Steve's now got a USB connection between his brain and his laptop to constantly look at all the prices and everything. And Sam seems to be keeping a close eye on the markets as well. So
just on both screens there.
Yeah. Have you trained your eyes so that your left eye looks at this screen and your right eye looks at this screen yet? So
you'll notice I flick around quite a bit between the 4 monitors.
Yeah, it's a bit like
my phone down there.
They have to teach Apache helicopter pilots because they've got those special headsets.
Yeah, target with your eyes.
Yeah, that's right. So all you need now is something where you look at a Binance screen and you just stare at it, and then when you blink, you put in a buy order or a sell order or something. That'd be pretty neat. So
I was going to ask about the next. We all know what's been happening with Binance. So how are people going about buying stuff in Binance? Are they jumping hoops to go to buy Coinbase? And then, like, for example, like today, for example, I wanted to buy some more VeChain, and then I forgot you can't put money into Binance. It was just a headache.
I use Crypto. I've always had 2 different apps that I used. One was to put my wife and I kind of like some of our life savings in. The other was purely mine, where I was just pumping my kind of pocket money once I give her the rest of my salary. Anyway, so
but some of them, for example, to take the example of VeChain, a lot of exchanges don't have it. Like Coinbase don't have it, Kraken don't have it.
Crypto does. Crypto.com
does it. Okay.
What I find about Crypto.com is that it doesn't have as much of a wider use case.
Yeah.
Like you can't do leverage. As far as I'm concerned, like as far as I've seen, you can't do leverage. The functionality of it seems to be just like that. You hodl your coins on there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what I'm doing. So for me, it's fine. I'm not doing anything else. That's literally what I'm doing.
So you're not using Binance then at all?
I've got it there, and if I want to trade coins around in it inside the app, I can. But I'm just like, for now, I'm going to leave them in. I'm basically going to leave them in until I think the market is peaked or near where I think, you know what, I want to take my money out and put them into stable coins. But what about you, Steve? What are you doing?
Well, I've not needed to buy anything in Binance, luckily. But I've been splitting my assets between 3 different crypto exchanges: Binance, Coinbase, and Gemini. So I've got 60% of my stuff in Binance and 40% in Coinbase or Coinbase Pro, and then a tiny little bit in Gemini. But before this started with Binance, I was thinking about splitting it, or anyway, because you don't want all your eggs in one basket anyway.
Yeah.
And then this happened, so I started doing my plan, which was to split it between them anyway.
Yeah,
because I think you can still buy directly with your card on Binance. You just can't transfer GBP or any other currency in to buy.
Because I tried to buy something with a credit card. This was weeks ago, and they just Halifax. They just blocked it purely because they said we're not allowed. We can't use. That's what they said to me on the phone. They said we're not allowing any credit to Binance. We can't use.
So that's not Binance themselves. That's your particular bank, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's beyond that. I thought there was actually a ruling or something over a year ago. It's quite an old one, that in the UK, you couldn't use a credit card to buy crypto anyway?
You can, but your credit card charges you a fortune, so it's really
Oh, okay.
worth it. You want to use your current account or debit card if you do. For that.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I did a test purchase. It was like £10 of a credit card, and I think they charged me like it was either £3 or £7 in fees. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
It's like, I'm glad I didn't buy like £1,000 worth.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought they tried to introduce something at some point, and I thought it was a while ago, whereby they actually were preventing people from using credit cards from making crypto purchases. And then, recently with the Binance thing, it's
this was just before the Binance thing. I tried that, so
okay.
it's still there.
Fair enough.
About now, like
okay.
But I'm at the stage I don't need to buy any money on Binance anyway, because I've got so much in there that I just trade it, And then so I'm using Binance to trade with currently about 60% of my stuff. I want to lower that down to about 40%. And then the rest is invested in the longer term in the other accounts. So, but moving across as Dogecoin is really cheap. If you sell your Bitcoin, buy Dogecoin and send across from Binance to Coinbase with Dogecoin, they only charge you 5 Dogecoin. It's like £2.
Oh, wow.
So way cheaper than transferring Bitcoin across. Still heads up.
So that's one way of getting around it, I guess, if you want to transfer stuff over. Right?
Yeah, sell your Bitcoin, buy Dogecoin, transfer Dogecoin across to Coinbase, and then just sell that and buy Bitcoin back.
Yeah.
Because when I transferred Bitcoin directly, I think I got charged about £24.
Well, you could do it with a stable thing like XRP, but I don't think Coinbase have XRP, do they? People used to use XRP.
Sure. You can do Bitcoin Cash is cheaper as well.
Okay.
Just don't transfer directly across as Ethereum or Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You'll get, depends how much you're transferring, I suppose, doesn't it? But for me, I got charged quite a bit like doing that.
But Fazal, coming back to your point about XRP, I think a number of exchanges were nervous about the court case going through with Ripple, and so they delisted XRP for now.
Okay.
So you're right. I think it's available through limited exchanges. So
it's available on crypto and both Binance. It's been the third most active coin purchase behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's been really BitBoy, who has the biggest channel on the Instagram, like Mr.
BitBoy loves his XRP, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He's been really encouraging people to bag it, and I think as a consequence of that, and he's like,
he must hold a lot of XRP.
Well, you can tell he's bagged a lot of it very quietly before he started shitting it. But he for me, because he's so big on there, I don't think he'll be shitting it if he wasn't extremely confident of the court case. Not victory, but slap on the wrist for XRP, and therefore that confidence of his. Because I would imagine, even though he must have put a considerable bit of money in before he started shitting it.
Yeah.
But also, because he's so big, he won't care so much if he loses it.
Well, he won't.
He's got less to lose.
I mean, I think it's regardless of whether it wins the court case in the short term, you will see some gains on it because there will be a bit of FOMO going in.
On the way up to the court case, yeah.
But should they? So it's a bit like getting in before the dumb money gets in. Like be the first dumb money in before the other dumb money gets in. But I don't know. From all the reading I'm doing around it, and there was a big thing on this legal YouTuber, and he was saying that basically they've settled. They can't publish that they've settled, and there's been a lot of rumor. There's a rumor mill has been massive, but you know what they're saying in crypto, yeah. Buy the rumor and sell the news.
Yeah.
So
I actually saw a meme today that said exactly the opposite, which is probably no bad thing these days. Of but buy the rumor, buy the news, sell the rumor, which I know completely is crazy, but probably sums up the crypto world. So from what I saw of the Ripple case the other day, there was some news that was due to come out, wasn't there, about they seem to be getting somewhere. Where somewhere is, I don't really know. It's a shame Hussein's not been with us for a few weeks. He used to be the Ripple guru type thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe he's too worried
still-
about XRP.
no, he was the one putting the links, which I watched. So
Yeah,
he put them
he was
on.
promoting it. Yeah.
Yeah, Crypto UK. He did put one in for balance, which said the otherwise. But
Okay.
like the thing is, what these YouTubers going to do? They're going to they get more views when there's positive news, right? So they're going to give you that really good news that looks like it's going to go this way. So you should put your money in, but it's all about just timing when you get out, isn't it?
Well, I thought the other one that I've seen talk about volumes growing and being a big player is Cardano with ADA. That I saw something the other day where they were saying that by volume, that was seeing some of the most transactions going through. Is that not consistent with what any of you folks are seeing or hearing?
Not consistent with price. Like the price has been quite weak. The ADA's group has been quite
Which is good
sluggish.
because it's gave me a chance to top up on it a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna have to wait for that for the Cardano rally to come. We just got to wait for that bloody smart contracts to come out. As soon as they come out, then it's gonna whoosh up, and about time. But the price prediction seems a lot more humble now because it's gone down to 1. Like I think people were thinking it was going to 5x, 4x maybe from where it was. But as it seems to be stuck around $1, maybe you're only going to get a $4 or $5 Cardano. I mean, I could be wrong. This is all speculation, isn't it? But it just seems that the speculation around it is more conservative now.
I'd be happy with 4x though.
I'm sure. Well, I think it comes back to the whole thing I've said all along that functionality has got no correlation to price. So even if the Cardano platform becomes the world's best blockchain and the best smart contract and the best interoperability, that could still potentially have no impact on the price of the cryptocurrency that secures it. And I find it funny because if you thought that the price of something correlated to its kind of like utility in a way, then Ethereum would be worth 10 times what Bitcoin's worth.
Well, eventually, I think Ethereum, it's got to flip, hasn't it?
Mm.
There's a lot of smart money that's coming into Ethereum, and there's a lot of Ethereum whales coming in now. If you look at Ethereum and its growth yield versus Bitcoin's, like in this year, Ethereum's it's been incredible. There's incredible gains, and I saw Vitalik was in a video with Mila Kunis the other day. So when celebrities are jumping on board, like that's something's good about it. So he made a YouTube video with Mila Kunis.
Who's she?
She's a very beautiful actress. I must say, very beautiful. She's a very beautiful actress, and she's released these NFTs like
Okay.
what are they called? Zombie cats or something? It's not a zombie cat. Something around cats.
You have
Like
to pay
Stoner Cat.
for them, don't you, by buying the NFT or something weird?
Do you know how much they cost? They cost like 23 ETH. People are buying these stupid pixelated things. It's absolutely
ridiculous money.
bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. Like I would never. I mean, but then that shows you what people think that these NFTs are going to be worth. Like like you see those like the stupid crypto zombies as well.
Mm.
People are paying you're talking about like 60 grand. Like
I'm staying away from NFTs.
but this is because it's the early adoption. It's like, well, what's this going to be worth in 20, 30 years time? I think it's going to be worth even more than 23 ETH will be worth in that time. And you think, well, what's 23 ETH going to be worth in 10 years time? So, and it seems to be, and who's buying this? Hedge funds.
Yeah. Well, I'm involved in a few NFT projects, which are more to do with securing the infrastructure layer than actual NFTs. So it's more like the technology behind it rather than buying and selling NFTs. And I'm helping a couple of firms to do things like work out what the total market potential is. And it is absolutely astronomical. And every time I've done this with a few firms now where we've worked out, what is the potential market for NFTs in 5 years? And it doesn't matter what number you come up with, you'll find an even bigger one next time. So we did a conservative estimate the other day with one project that we reckon the NFT market by 2025, so only 3-4 years away, could be worth up to $1 trillion.
Whoa.
And it's like,
1 trillion.
yeah, and it's like, well, that's roughly 50% total market cap of all crypto.
And Ethereum will be used to trade those, right?
Well,
and maybe Cardano as well.
Well, some of it, because there are some NFT specific blockchains that are being developed. So there's, Tezos tends to get used for that kind of thing, and I think Waves in the gaming space, and a few others that are scaling. But Ethereum could be quite a big player in that. But yeah, one of the assessments we did, it was like $1 trillion, because you start looking at new types of asset being NFT'd. So, even something as simple as shares, stocks and shares being transferred into a truly digital NFT world, that could be absolutely colossal. And then I did some work with another firm. And again, we did an assessment of, I think this time it was like 2030 or 2035. And the numbers were even bigger. I was like, yeah, but the bizarre thing was that once we worked through all the numbers, we went, actually, we're not hyping this. This isn't, we're just coming up with a spreadsheet that's coming up with some stupid extrapolations. This was looking at how much the blockchain market's growing, how much the crypto market's growing, how much DeFi is growing, how much NFT is growing, how much digital art did grow and then collapsed, how much things like fine art is growing, all these kind of things. And you look at it, it's like, yeah, this really could be seriously big. So
basically, it's like baseball cards, but like in a different world, isn't it? That's what it is. And people love art, people love collectibles, people love getting there first.
Yeah.
What's your view, Gary? Sorry, on Sandbox then, because itself.
What do you mean by Sandbox? Sorry,
the actual coin itself.
I'm not familiar with it.
No. Because I think does anybody know anything about it? Because I think it's something. It's on. It's some sort of NFT platform, isn't it?
It may well be. I've had about a week off from the crypto world, so I've probably missed out. But I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
But I'll certainly go and check into it and have a dig around, because that'd be quite interesting. But there will be loads of these things going on, so just be aware of that kind of thing. Sam, were you going to add something there, or just put your hand up?
It's just a question which I really had to ask, so I just really want to ask it. And it's about I put it on the UK group. It's about stablecoins. So look, when I intend to pull my crypto out and I want to put into stablecoins. The most common stablecoin that people use is obviously US dollars, but obviously we're British and we use pounds. Would it make more sense to put my crypto holdings into pounds rather than a US stablecoin? I just wonder if anyone had any advice.
You mean into Tether? You mean USDT?
Oh not yet. Like this is what I'm thinking. That surely wouldn't it make more sense that I know there are great British pound stablecoins out there. Like I know there are. But is it more advisable to put? I wouldn't use Tether anyway, to be honest, because I'm hearing bad things about Tether. But isn't it more advisable to put take my crypto out and put it into British stablecoins, accrue some interest on that, wait for the market to absolutely dive next year, which I expect it will, and then buy back cheap? Like, isn't that? Or would you just put money into US USD stablecoin? Like, what would you guys kind of recommend? Really,
I'm staking cake, but that's only because I had some leftover cake. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's 20% per annum or something.
For me, this is the whole question about stable coins. About when you say stable coin, stable against what? So if it's most important for you to hedge against GBP, because that's what you're going to exit to, and that's what you're going to buy things with, and that's what you're going to sell things with, then if you can find a GBP associated stable coin or ETF or whatever, then that would make sense. but it really also depends upon where you think the pound's going to go over time. Do you think it's going to go up? It's going to go down?
It's gone up against the dollar recently, isn't it? It's 1.43.
Yeah. And I've been tracking that because I'm getting paid in dollars by one of the clients at the moment. So it's like,
No, I'm not to pay you yet.
Exactly.
Wait
Yeah.
a few weeks.
It's like, yeah. No hurry. Take your time type of thing. So it really depends upon, Sam, what you're stabilizing against and for what purpose, as to which thing you might want to put it into. Because I actually think, as Steve alluded to, in some ways, you could almost put it into an arbitrary thing. You could put it into Bitcoin or Ethereum and treat that as your stable platform, and then yield farm it or something. So you just earn some interest on it when it's not doing anything. There's my thought. I don't know if Fazal, you got...
Binance have a few options, don't they, in the earn section?
Yeah.
If you've still got any money left in Binance or crypto.
I've got quite a bit.
Go on, Fazal, you're going to add something there?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say this, the same. It depends what you're hedging it against. What, but even putting it in, like you said, putting it in Ethereum or Bitcoin, you can just treat that as a stable coin anyway, and just use that and maybe stake it somewhere or farm it somewhere, like you said.
But it's going to crash, isn't it? I mean, it's like, after this bull run, you get a blow off top, and so it's going to skyrocket really high by Bitcoin and Ethereum. And after that blow off top, it loses like 75, 90% of its value,
From January or something, maybe.
Yeah, like, well, who knows when?
Maybe before, yeah.
Maybe before, like again, I really don't know when that's going to happen. Now, for me, I'm not losing those gains. Do you know what I mean? I'm not losing those gains. So I want to preserve those gains, and when it crashes back down, whoosh, to like 75%, and then buy back in. Lovely.
Okay. So I see what you're saying. So when it goes to the top, you want to take your money out.
You can't quite predict when that top's going to happen.
Yeah.
Usually you'll get a half top. Yeah. So when it blows off, I see it blowing off. I'm going to take it out. Now I'm not going to say I'm going to catch the top at its top, and I'm not going to say I'm going to catch the bottom at its bottom. But for that little bit of time, it might be a little bit of wiggle room. I don't want to take my crypto out of the app and then like put it into my bank account and then put it back in or anything like that. I just like for maybe a week, maybe 6 months, maybe a month. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like just put into some stable coins, get some interest. I mean, even those stable coins, you can get quite good interest on them per annum. Like you can get 5% per annum on a stable coin. It's not bad. I'd rather do that.
Depends how long you think it's going to be down for, doesn't it? If it's not too long, you can just leave a GBP in your crypto account. If it's only going to be a month.
I'm concerned about this crash. I really am. I really think this is going to be, I don't know, like this black swan event next year. I don't want to be like the harbinger of doom, but I'm quite concerned.
But are you thinking of it as a crypto crash or a financial crash?
Well, like I'm just looking at the past, and I know that history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. And like just at the very least, like why would you want to see 75% of your gains wiped out? Like you wouldn't, and it's going to be even worse in those in the altcoins. And so therefore, if you just put it into a stable coin at least for a while and just see what happens. I mean, looking at past what I've done, I've looked at past metrics, and when after the blow off top, it's usually 1 year. It's 1 year before the market bottoms out. Yeah, the crypto market bottoms out. It's very, very bottom. Isn't that the time that you really want to buy back in? So imagine if you kind of sell off near the top and you buy right back down there, then you've done really well, haven't you? Like in that year, I'm not going to take my coins out anyway. I just want to maybe have them in a stable coin and earn that 5% per annum. So imagine if I quadrupled my money in this bull market, and then earn a nice 5% return on it, wait for that market to really go down. But what I am concerned about with the crypto market, it seems to mirror the S&P. Right? Not completely, but it seems to mirror. So if this black swan event just absolutely kills stocks and shares, crypto's even more volatile, right? Like even more volatile. So isn't it really going to push the price down of crypto? That's what I've got in my mind.
Well, if that's the case, following economic theory, it's also going to cause a collapse of the fiat currencies. So if you're looking at a stable coin that is pegged against the pound or the dollar, and the pound or the dollar collapse, then you've just got the same problem. It comes back to the, should you actually look for alternatives like commodities like gold and silver, which are traditionally considered as, and again, this is not financial advice, blah, 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 type thing, but you consider as a safe harbor in times of uncertainty. And that's why you've even got things like the VIX index. And the VIX index is, I think it's known as the fear index, which it's a consolidated index of multiple shares. And it gives an indication as to market, not sentiment, but market worry about how bothered markets are. So the VIX index is always worthwhile looking at, because that gives a good indication of how panicky people are about society and that kind of thing. So your problem's going to be that you go and put yourself into a position where you think you're in a safe harbor because, oh, it's all in whatever, and that whatever is connected with the thing that collapses. Or isn't.
Yeah.
Really don't know.
You don't get tokenized gold. I saw like Davis talking about, he puts his, so maybe that might be where I put my my gains into.
Yeah.
Right thing. But if you're putting in tokenized gold, Bitcoin is supposed to be like digital gold, right? But it's just, I just don't want to lose that blowout top. That blowout top is like a 4x.
Well,
How do I preserve?
well, this is where I know some people who trade like physical gold, and they also trade in crypto. And it's always funny when you start talking to them about crypto gold, as you say, things like Bitgold and the various other things, they always turn the noses up at it, saying, you know, with gold, you want physical delivery, or you want, but the, you know, even the problem with physical delivery is it literally means keeping it under your bed at night, which means there's the risk of it being stolen or whatever. But a few of the people I know, they say, oh yeah, you know, I've got a safe in the house, or whatever, they're comfortable with that. Or you have it in storage in somewhere that provides escrow services, which is a bit like leaving your money on an exchange, you know, if it all goes wrong. So you just don't know. I think all you can say is ask the question again in a year's time. And we'll know what the answer of what you should have done a year ago then, probably.
Did you manage to catch the top before, Sam? Before the 40%
drop? This is my first run, but as a history teacher, I geeked out and what I looked at was previous bull runs and all the data on it, and that's where I came up with my October 27th prediction. But this guy done this really good.
Because I missed it because it just kept coming down, and you don't want taken out because the second you do, it'll go back up, and then went down a bit more, and then down a bit more. So it's very hard to decide when to take it out.
It is very hard, but it's like, would I regret losing this more than I'd regret making further gains? And at some point, you've
maybe do 50-50.
Well, I've got half.
That's what I'm thinking about doing. Once it's tripled or doubled, maybe take out half into GBP, and then wait for the drop, like you said, and I can put a half back in. And if it doesn't drop, I've still got half in, maybe. That's an option as well.
You've got your whole thing about, there's a psychology aspect to this, and there's the history aspect, as you say, and there's the statistics. I used to love it. I did statistics years ago, and there's a thing called min-max regret theory, which is, it's actually doing a statistical method of how you can minimize the maximum regret of a decision. So it's kind of like, it's almost like, when do you make the least worst decision to get in or out of something? And you can do it mathematically. It's fascinating, because I'm convinced that crypto relates to animals or living things in two ways. First of all, most crypto major market moves are caused by a butterfly in the Amazon somewhere. So it's all totally random anyway. And then the other thing is that the point at which you should buy and sell is a bit like fishing, in that it should have been here yesterday or tomorrow. You never actually get it quite right, type thing. So we'll see.
Dropping, you never know when to take your coins out.
Yeah.
Whether to keep them in.
Because you've always got a thing. I listen to some people when it's dropping, and they go, "Oh yeah, this is definitely going to carry on dropping. So you need to be dollar cost averaging and buying in and buying in." And you go, "Hang on, didn't you just say it's definitely dropping?" "Oh yeah. So you know it's going to drop even more." Yeah. So why buy? Well, if you just sit back and wait until it all plummets. Oh no, it doesn't work that way. I think it does. So yeah, there's a lot of psychology in it, and you'll never get it quite right. So, but if you do, Sam, and if the 27th of October proves to be right, then although I'm not even sure now what you said it was going to do on the 27th of October, whether it was going to.
It was going to crash according to previous matrices and previous bull runs, and the bull run's getting longer and longer. The prediction based on the previous two bull runs of the length of the bull run would basically finish on that date. But the problem is now is that you've got the institutions that are in, like, you see German institutional money is going to come flooding in. If there's an EFT in America come through, it's just so much money that's coming in. The market is more manipulated than ever. And I think Bitcoin more than ever feels global economic influences. So these are the things that can kind of falsely elongate a bull run or shorten a bull run, and it just leaves me with a massive degree of uncertainty. I think the best thing I can do is just have a target of money, which I'm trying to reach. So when I reach a certain target of money, when I'm happy with that target, that's when I put it out. And if I miss more profit, well, I miss it, but I would have 2.5x my original investment by that point. And therefore, you can get that in a normal, you can get that from a bank. It'd be very hard to get it on the stock market. I think you just got to be happy with what you've got sometimes. And I think that's the attitude that I'm going to take.
Profit's profit, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I always go by.
I always argue that as long as you're earning more than you're earning in a bank deposit account or savings account or whatever.
It'd be very hard not to, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah.
Based on bank rates.
but that's again, it used to really frustrate me where you'd get like your annual pension review or something, and you got these highly paid independent financial advisors coming in to gleefully tell you that the pension plan that they've been actively managing for you has only lost 20% this year, which is far better than the rest of the market. It's like, sorry, what did you say? So yeah, I'm never impressed by the traditional financial markets. So if you can do better than traditional finance, it's got to be good.
I looked at my pension forecast and it was horrendous. It was rubbish. What a waste of time.
Yeah.
It was crap. It really was. It was like 100 quid a week for 12 years or something daft. It was terrible. Obviously, it might change nearer the time, because I'm not quite there yet.
This is it. You've always got the pension people work on the basis that you're going to say, "Oh yeah, I've got 30 years. I don't need to worry yet." And then in 20 years, I've got 20 years. I don't need to worry yet. Or 10 years, I don't need to. Oh, hang on, it's time to start worrying. And then they start talking about topping it up. And it's like, oh, right, so you want me to put more money into something that's not working? Yeah, great idea, guys. And so,
you can pay anyway. Shares yourself and make more.
Yeah. That's it. So I think the secret's just to carry on working until you're about 130, and you're fine then. So Sam's wincing at the thought. He's thinking of all that homework marking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if there's any jobs like like when they've automated anything, like what are people going to do? But I'm just relying on my property. My property's massively appreciating in value, so that's going to be a huge pension gift for me. And I bought it when the market dipped.
Excellent.
2008, I bought it, and it appreciated in 50% in 10 years. So that was very, very good money I made in the property market. But like, say if there is stagflation, doesn't that not impact housing as well?
Yep. So you think about if you've got
another house with your Bitcoin profits.
Well, I think about buying a flat, maybe.
Well, it might be a very good opportunity to buy something cheaply, because if you think about how if you get stagflation, you get high levels of unemployment, inability to pay back mortgages, mortgage defaults, collapses, property prices collapse, blah, 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 blah. But basically what happened in 2008 is quite likely to happen again, except I fear even worse this time. So yeah, it could be a great opportunity to buy some very cheap property without trying to think too hard about what it's done to your main property's value.
That's it. If we all change by the same amount, you're no better off.
Exactly.
My house is 3 times what I paid for it, but so have all the other houses on the street, so I'm no better off.
Yeah.
I could sell it for 3 times the amount, but unless I'm going to live in a tent, it's pointless.
Yep.
At the
I
moment.
mean, it depends where you live. I'm quite lucky. I live in the third most sought after borough in London, don't you know? So it's like my property appreciated 20% in value, I think, in 6 months.
Yeah, but so is every other house on your street. So unless you sell yours and move
I
up
know.
here
So,
Yeah.
to
but that's
Wales,
the
where
thing.
it's cheaper.
I'd move. I'd go and live in the valleys, mate. You know, a house is a house.
But that's where you do see it. I mean, I've seen it locally by me, where house prices keep going up because people in London have gradually moved out because it's an easy way of them cashing in and buying a bigger property, blah, 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 blah. That spreads out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Get a mansion up there for the price of Sam's flat or house in London.
yeah. Or you could go up, if you moved up North Yorkshire or something, you could probably buy, probably North Yorkshire.
I was looking yesterday, you can get like a really big, nice mansion type property for, I think it's 350,000, give or take, up here. The other day, I was looking yesterday at properties. Well, that's probably just the price of like Sam's flat in London. So,
I mean, like my house is like about 450 at the moment. The first house that I bought was I bought it for 205 in 2008.
But of course, you'd have to leave the area you're in. Because they've all gone up by that.
I mean, I was like, well, it's just, I think with house prices, what you see is in London, or certainly in these, since COVID's happened, the central London prices have actually stagnated or gone down, and those people that formerly lived in the centre have moved out to the leafier suburbs. You know, they want to have a garden, they want to have like, you know, that local hello with the newsagent and stuff like that. So Bexley, where I live, the house prices have really rocketed up, but you know, I don't think it's sustainable, basically. But it's all I can say is that it's appreciated by far more than the average house price in the country. Which means, if that could it continue? I don't think it could continue. That's a bubble, but nonetheless, it seems to be a highly desirable place to live with very good transport links into London. So, you know, I guess I've got the chances in my favour there, so to speak. So yeah, it's quite a good thing. But you know, should I just take all my money out of that mortgage and put it into crypto? That's the question. Well, I mean, like, I really have thought about it, because I think, you know, if I've got like 5,000 in at the moment, I'm quite confident that's going to triple X. Why would I not do that with 50,000?
Yeah, but you don't want to risk your house, though. Remember,
I know you don't want to risk your house, but it's that if you look at the people that are truly made like the big life-changing money, it's because they bet their house.
Yeah.
They bet their house on crypto. I mean, those are the people that don't work anymore. They're the people living the dream, right? So because they took that risk, and obviously I wouldn't take that risk because my wife wouldn't let me, but I do dream of it. I do dream of it. I mean, who wouldn't dream of making that life-altering money?
Yeah, if I had more, I'd definitely put more in as well. But I set up a separate sort of business on the side to make extra cash and only use that cash, so it never affects the household funds.
Yeah.
That's how I've invested in it.
Good idea. Give me some. Guys, just conscious last 10 minutes. Anything else going on in the crypto world of particular interest or note?
No, I want it to drop so I can put my money
I saw that Ripple has been adopted by Japan, which is a very bullish note. So for Ripple, and it calls the.
Say that again, Sam.
In Japan, Japanese banks have adopted Ripple. I think I read the article, but I can't remember why. but basically they were trying to send money to other places in Asia, and it was taking far too long and costing far too much. So in Japan, they've now adopted Ripple, even with the court case going on. Okay, now would Japanese banks do that in a busted flush? So do the Japanese banks know something that we don't? You know, so
I'll quickly offer two thoughts on that, and then I think Fazal may have some as well. The first is it might be that they're using the Ripple platform, which is not the same as XRP, which is one thing. And the other thing is that over the last 5 6 years, the number of projects that I've seen promoting, announcing that they're using blah, 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 when it's just a proof of concept or something, it's not necessarily a full-blown productionization or migration of what they're doing. So I'll go and take a look at the story and dig around a little bit on it, but you may find that it's not that they've actually gone live with using Ripple in quite the way that you think it might do. So I thought Fazal was going to add something else, and then he dropped off. Maybe I upset him. Yeah. So that's my only thought on that, Sam. Of sometimes you get these news items. It's like the one that came out the other day about Amazon and crypto.
Yeah. Rachel told you about that, didn't we?
Yeah. and all it was I think Amazon were advertising for somebody with crypto and blockchain experience or something. It was just a job description. So fair enough, they're recruiting people, but before you knew it, that was suddenly transformed into Amazon moves into crypto.
The Amazon's denial, it was worded in a very strange way, so as not to actually say that they weren't.
Yeah, but it was to say it was the classic thing, wasn't it? Of
I'm not denying it or confirming it, basically. They said.
Yeah. So
if they did adopt a blockchain, it would make Amazon so much more efficient, because I'm sure they've got some pretty good systems at the moment. I just think blockchain would be a better system to use, and surely they're considering that. You think about their, like, I don't know, how many whistles they need to sell or whatever, that the information you could store on a blockchain would be more secure and more efficient.
But having worked in information systems for years, blockchains are not efficient for doing analytics. They're great, as you say, for storing data, but they're useless if you want to do analytics, unless you've got a blockchain that is optimized to do analytics up front. And there are a couple out there that are kind of like a AI aware type thing. A traditional database and cloud storage and all this kind of thing, way better. If you want to do like real-time analytics on trading volumes across Amazon, then a high-speed hyperscale platform is going to work. Blockchain's not the right answer for it, probably.
Okay.
Amazon definitely got some issues. You know what they did the other day? They sent me an email saying, based on your recent activity, we thought you might be interested in this. And they sent me a little email. It's the product I sell on Amazon.
Yay!
And they sent me an email saying I might be interested in buying it.
that shows that the cookies are working then.
They definitely have some issues there.
Yeah, it seems that way. But the other thing is, imagine if Amazon set up their own cryptocurrency and said that if people used it, you get a 5% discount upon usage of it. I mean, that would be pretty useful, right?
And that is the real game changer. That if Amazon suddenly started using their own kind of internal crypto for settlements in some way, where you could make a payment via Amazon, that means you're not making a payment via the banking system. It's like the old one of if Facebook launched its own bank, Facebook could have 2 billion account customers overnight.
Yeah, what happens to Facebook coin, Libra or whatever?
So they rebranded it. They rebranded it to be DM. They then subsequently re-domiciled. So they've moved out of, I think it was Zurich, and certainly Switzerland, I think it was Zurich or it may have been Zug, they've re-domiciled to the USA. Facebook have taken a real step back from any obvious involvement in it. And I think the payment card providers like MasterCard and Visa may have left the consortia who were involved in it. So it's taken a massive step back. And it was all tied in with, was it Congress who wrote to them to say, here, we'd like you to stop doing what you're doing. We're not quite sure what it is that you're doing, but could you stop it for a while? Because we'd like to have a chat about it. Because I think that, yeah, well, the US government, I think, I remember when Libra was first announced, and it's fascinating because the first wave that hit was when the central banks thought about what the impact would be and thought, hang on, this means Facebook could suddenly be running the world reserve currency, which completely undermines the US dollar. You know, and then around about the same time, the retail banks suddenly thought, hang on, this means Facebook, which is a unregulated company, could suddenly offer payment services to 2 billion customers, which is more than any bank in the world combined with any other bank, in an unregulated environment. So the Senate or Congress or whatever it was, I think went, whoa, that's not good, and told them to take a step back. So yeah, Steve, it's still fairly quiet at the moment on that. I think they're settling down in, I don't know if they've re-domiciled in Wyoming or something.
So Amazon would probably have to consider that as well before they brought out their own coin.
Yeah.
They'd be aware of that, so.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which may give them the advantage that Amazon is domiciled in Luxembourg, I think. Which may give them a little bit more flexibility with it being within Europe, as opposed to Facebook, which I think is headquartered California.
Maybe Facebook would just do early.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the great thing about all of that, I always said that that Facebook coin was probably the biggest crypto that was never going to happen, because it opened up too many cans of worms for too many kind of things. It's kind of quite fascinating. So yeah, interesting. Good one to finish on, maybe. So guys, I was going to say it's pretty much 8 o'clock. So I shall wish you all a good day, good evening, have a good one. Get well soon. Wash your hands. Be good. And thanks for coming along, guys, and sharing your thoughts. And speak to you all again.
See ya.
See you now. Bye.